Today's guest is Matthew Coyle, a former Emirates flight attendant. Matt has visited over 70 of the world's most glamorous destinations. In 2019, Matt turned his love for travel into his own business, launching the Mornington-based Travel Project, a luxury travel agency hosting experiences across each of the world's 7 continents. Today, you'll learn about what it takes to market a luxury travel agency and the attention to the fine details that, if missed, could be detrimental to the Travel Project brand. You'll also learn about the early days of Travel Project and what compelled Matt to launch his own travel agency. You'll also learn about where Matt sees the travel industry moving over the coming years and the impacts that this could have on his business. Let's welcome Matt to the pod. Matt, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm really good. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to be catching up.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you. And for listeners to get context as to how we know each other, we've connected on LinkedIn quite a few months ago.
Yep.
And then I saw your face at a Chamber of Commerce event for the Mornington Peninsula. I recognise this guy. What do I know him for? And you were talking to Dave Wilson.
Yep.
And I think, I'll go over to have a chat and to see who you are, because I know your face from somewhere. And then we get talking, and you got Travel Project in Mornington. You were at Padua back in the day. And I was we connected on LinkedIn a few months ago, and it all came back. And so it's been great to learn a bit more about your story with Travel Project. And I'm looking forward to us diving a little bit deeper today as well, and learning a bit more of the ins and outs around the marketing component and how you've been able to get through COVID and what forth and come out the other end quite successful.
Yeah, amazing. I think that's when LinkedIn comes alive, when you actually go out and network and you put yourself out there. So I'm a big fan of that. That's where all opportunities really arise from. So moving away occasionally from the screen, and it was great to chat. But I think haven't even really scratched the surface yet.
No,
so
definitely not.
Yeah, I thought this is great. I like to unpack, and I'm very transparent. Like, this is who I am. This is where I've come from. This is where I see us going. But there's always different paths to get to where I want to get to.
Definitely. And looking forward to chatting about those paths. But my first question for you is, back in the day, you were a flight attendant for Emirates.
Yeah.
Love your travel. You go everywhere. You got a trip around Australia planned over the next couple of months, for the next 12 months going forward. But what was it that compelled you to jump out of a job with Emirates, and then later on Flight Centre, and launch your own luxury travel agency?
I think I'm a big fan of starting with the end in mind, and I know this may just suddenly get to a little bit morbid, but we will all have our last breath. And I've never really been around anybody in that pace, but the stories that I hear, most people would generally, be reflecting on the experiences that they had, not the assets that they gathered. And so that's where I like to start at the end. And I think we will eventually get there. And will I be happy with the experiences? And it just, comes back to where I am today. And I like to kind of jump between the two. I don't think about that a lot. That came out wrong. I like to just, I'm very much of a whole, this is what it could be, this is where I'm at type of person. And so that really led me to travel. And at an early age, back in year 9, I put my hand up to go on a class trip to China. And I had no idea why they were doing it, really. It wasn't a particular class. We weren't learning Mandarin. But I went on a trip to China. And that was my first view of, the world outside of where we are. And that really stemmed into becoming a flight attendant, where my life got to be an itinerary every single month. I used to get my holiday, I used to say itinerary, and I'll be going to Singapore, New York, Nairobi, Joburg, back to Sydney, and I loved it. But that was in my early to mid-20s, and I was a young, single guy, had no family, and so that was my way of travelling, and it's really led to where we are today. So
just off the cuff of the business side of things, just talking about the itinerary there, I love my travel as well. Love aeroplanes and what forth. Always loved that since I was a little kid. Dad would go to the airport, pick up a family member that's just gone on a trip. Dad, I'm in the car. I'm with you. Just check out the airport so the plane's flying over. So I definitely had the thought when I was young kid, flight attendant would be a pretty cool job. So what does that itinerary look like? They just give you an email at the start of the month. Hey, this is where you're going to. This is where you're going to be positioned for the month. Is that how?
Yeah, your roster comes out. So generally, and this was 2007, so most itineraries would have at least 24 hours in a destination. And being in Dubai, majority of places you're working 7-hour shifts, 7-8 hour flights. Whether you're going to Asia, Africa or Europe, it was quite easy. Even flying to Rome was 5.5 hours. So you would work 5.5 hours and then you have a rest for 24. Because it was thank you for your hard work.
Yeah.
And so at that time, Emirates were, not as everywhere as they are now in the marketing space. And their unique marketing idea was, if we're going to be the best airline in the world, we want people in the best hotels in the city to see our cabin crew walking in. And so we used to fly into, just stay in the best hotels. And that was amazing. And the whole idea was the iconic Emirates hat and me hanging by as well. I was just part of it, and probably a lot of the girls and walking in with the little cabin bag. But that, for locals in the city, maybe in the fancy restaurant or the bar, seeing the crew, if the crew stay here, geez, what are they like? So that was a great little marketing ploy that Emirates don't do anymore. Now my friends are still there. They're stuck at the airport hotels. It's changed. The market's changed. But at the time, you'd fly in and you get your little key card with cash in there. And so each destination, you had your allowance in local currency. So in Europe, it was about 80 euros, 90 euros. And you got 24 hours. And then after a bit of fun, you'd have your 5-hour shift coming back home. And yeah, that was it. Long destinations. Occasionally, there was 8-day trips. But yeah, it was pretty nice.
So it's quite generous of the airline.
Yeah, they're not like that anymore.
Not like that anymore.
No.
Cost of living pressures.
Yep. And I milked it when I think it was at the peak or just on the other side of it.
Fantastic. And is that experience of attending these, I would assume, 5-star hotels and accommodations, that luxury, is that what attracted you to the luxury market of travel?
Yeah, I think definitely. And after a while working in the premium cabins, working in business and first and not seeing, not really how the other half, there's no other half. It's just people that value different things, I think. And yeah, could really connect to people. It never really came from I'm serving you type. I just could really have a chat and really connect with these people, whether the first economy anywhere. But yeah, working in those cabins, meeting so many different cultures and people, that was one thing that really, it just sparked my just excitement, interest in the world. Every flight in the 4 years, it was so rare to fly with a person you've flown with before.
Wow.
So about 16, every single shift you work, it's crazy to think there was 16,000 crew. That you may remember someone from a couple of years ago or a year ago, but generally you're meeting people from 8 or 9 different cultures every single trip. Wow. And they're the people that you're hanging out with, and you're getting to learn, and the world gets smaller. And then coming back home, I guess that's my concept, that the world isn't as big as
that's what we think it is.
As we think it is. Like, it's just there. Just do it.
That's amazing. To think that you go on the same routes time after time after time, and you've got such a vast array of staff that you're working with within the same organisation.
Yeah.
Crazy to think like that.
It is, yeah.
Out of the 70 plus countries you've been to, what would you say the top 5 are? Or the top 5 you would recommend people need to get to?
Iceland.
Iceland?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was good.
And I was lucky to go. And when I first went to Iceland, everyone was telling me how good Iceland was. So you've got this expectation, right? Everybody would say the scenery and you Google it. I'm looking at the pictures and thinking, this looks nice. But I couldn't really understand. I've also seen nice things, I've seen a lot of things. And I was really excited, but you just can't explain. And there's no image or video that I've seen that's captured Iceland, as opposed to actually just being there. Sure. So Iceland is definitely number 1. I always used to say Mexico was number 1, but now Iceland. Yeah. Mexico's for the people and the food and just the way of life. Mm-hmm. I feel like, and I've been there a few times. One very memorable when I started a year traveling through South America, and I bought a hammock in Mexico City, and I had a year to get down to Argentina. And 3 months into my year, I was still in Mexico.
Wow. Loved it that much.
Yeah, I loved it. But Mexico for me is a recharge. The people are just amazing, just so friendly, and some people don't have what we have here in Australia. Yet they seem happier and simple, vibrant. It's colourful. It's great food. It's nice beaches, nice people. So Mexico is another great one. I do have again more of another reset destination. One that I've been kind of quite go. The Maldives. I've just fallen in love with.
They look beautiful.
It is. Yeah. And there's people are split half between. I couldn't imagine anything worse. Sitting on an island doing nothing. Yeah. And the others, sometimes life is so full on. You need to do that. Yeah. You just need to reset, and it's a different reset as what Mexico gives me, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful place, and so I'd really say they're the top three, and they're all so different. We've got Iceland, Mexico, Maldives.
Very, very different.
Yeah.
And what would you say is a bit of an out there recommendation?
Libya.
Yeah,
that was a bit weird.
Right. And what's the recommendation behind that?
Don't go.
Oh, don't go.
No,
oh,
sorry,
right.
don't go.
I thought you were saying to go there.
No, okay.
No, definitely don't go there.
No,
that's fair enough.
No, I was there when Gaddafi was around, and it just wasn't a safe place, and it was just weird. But yeah, let's not talk about the not go to,
Sure.
because there's no need. And out there, well, one of the Portugal, Condé Nast have just named as the hottest destination to go to. So Portugal next year is expensive because everybody wants to go there now. But Lithuania, Eastern Europe, these little places, or the stands, with what's going on in the world, there's still some amazing little areas that you can go to that aren't overrun by tourism. And one that recently, I would say is probably in that top 5, and one that I really only experienced the last couple of weeks was Morocco. And Marrakesh, to me, was like stepping into Aladdin, the cartoon. Yeah. It was just, you really felt like you were viewing tourism as it was in the 60s. It wasn't full on and over tourist, if that's even a thing, which it is happening a lot in Spain at the moment. There's a lot of protests and locals like protesting in front of touristy restaurants saying, get out. Wow. And that's, over tourism is a thing that is happening. But a place like Morocco, the people are the friendliest people, the safest place, but it's like being transported to another world.
Yeah. I can definitely picture that Aladdin type of environment. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool to experience.
Yeah, and it still exists today, so Marrakesh.
There you go. Add that one to the bucket list. Yeah. Definitely. So, bringing it back to travel projects, what does a travel project experience look like?
Yeah, this is interesting because when I first started a travel project, and I was really questioning what our product was, I felt like a little bit of a leech in a way, selling other people's product. We don't own the product, the aircraft, or the hotel that you're staying in. And I started thinking, what is our product? Are we just a broker, right?
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
And I didn't like that because I wanted to create something that was so much more than just a transactional brokerage space. Mm-hmm. And that's where COVID was an amazing blessing, because it gave me the time to really understand the business and building it. One thing I love to say is the rug was pulled from us, and I realized that the floorboards were rotten. Yeah. And I had time to build the foundations. And the foundations was really understanding what our product is. And if you can, whether you like Christmas or not, if you can picture that lead up towards Christmas, the moment it's Mariah Carey comes out, and it's starting to now. I've seen things at the post office, starting to now. This is like that idea in your head, like, I like to go to Morocco. But the moment that it's the 1st of December, and it's hustle and bustle, and the weather's hot, and Christmas parties are going on and you're thinking about who's bringing what to where and where we're going, that anticipation stage is not Christmas, but it's the exciting stage. Christmas comes and you sleep on the couch till I am by 1 o'clock.
I was last year as well, don't worry.
So I love the lead up, the anticipation stage, and that's where Travel Project plays. Yeah. We play in the moment that you have that idea to really that excitement lead up. We don't just leave you on the trip, but at the end of the day, a lot of the product, that's where whether you're touring, we've created a private itinerary or it's the accommodation or a cruise, that in that anticipation we've paired the right product for you, but there's still that support and assistance and continued on. But going towards that lead up, that's a big part. And so that's where not only having the best travel designers with amazing experience to get the right product, but we've got our internal concierge team. 2 girls, local girls from down this way, and they're there to add the things that make the trip shine. Yeah. And to be honest, and I worked for a bigger travel company before, when people are just in the sales environment, things can be forgotten. And some of the biggest complaints that you hear anywhere, I'm purchasing something at the moment, and the after sales, the moment something was paid, is terrible, and it takes away from the entire experience. And so that's where our product is, and that's the Travel Project experience, that we really understand that our product is not the trip, it's
Everything that lead up.
everything. Yeah, it's the dreaming, it's the anticipation, and the delivery.
And those fine details are so important, especially when you're playing at the higher end of the market. All those little minute details, they are what makes or breaks the experience, correct?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think we've all probably had an experience where something was great. You may have been to an amazing restaurant, the best food. The chef worked for years in Michelin-starred restaurants, and that was amazing. But the server or the parking or something can destroy the trip. Yeah. So, yeah, the little details are the most important.
So when you first started back in 2019, these finer details and the minute experiences within the larger experience, is that something you were thinking about when going about the early days of the marketing and getting the word out there of Travel Project?
It is, yes. I wanted to create a brand that wasn't in your face with sales, because where I came from, one of the bigger travel companies, that it's all price. It's all very price driven. It's very what we call, especially in Travel Project, red brain marketing. This is the facts and the figures and the numbers and the analytics, and what we like to focus on is more the green brain, the emotive side of the brain. Sure. That type of experience that you can really bring people in, and a price that says Fiji $599 flights bag. That's so just factual, and it exists, and there's a market for it. But it's nothing. That's not what. Again, going to the end that I want to remember. I remember the experiences that I actually had, and so the experiential travel was very big. So the first thing that we focused on was the visual marketing, the brand, the business, the retail space. We want it to be almost like walking into a luxurious hotel lobby and having the feeling that I've arrived. I'm on holidays. Yeah. And after working in other companies, it felt like walking in a library in the 90s. And everyone's just screaming prices at me and banners. And so you won't see anything in Travel Project really that's price driven. And we can access it all. People have varied budgets. That's absolutely fine. But we don't need to be in your face with numbers. Yeah, so that was the first focus. Making it a sexy brand that didn't resemble a library in the 90s.
And that's pretty straightforward, easy guideline to work on and say, okay, this is definitely not what we're doing, and make it all sexy and attractive. Yep. Yeah. So where does that take you then? From you got sexy and attractive as the goal of what you're wanting to put out there. That has to be represented in what your photos and your video, in your copy on your website, correct? So it goes all beyond that, correct?
Definitely. Yep. Definitely. Very, very visual business. Now, marketing for us is not only capturing interest at the top of funnel. Marketing for us is the moment just before the transaction, just before the sale, for example. So your journey with us you may be thinking of a trip to to Fiji. And traditional market would be this package and this package and this package, price. So I've been spending a lot of time investing in the best tech that can allow us to present our itineraries using visual, price way down. The videos, if a hotel doesn't have a video, it's so hard to sell.
Oh yeah, big time.
And there are so many videos on Vimeo and YouTube from some of the best hotels that have like 134 views. People aren't sometimes seeing them. And that's also for us, that's opportunity because they spend a lot of money. The drone shots there, it sends you there. You immerse yourself in the experience for a minute and 4 seconds. They like to be around that generally.
Sure.
But that for me, if you were a customer, I'm not going to say Fiji $3.99. There you go. I'm going to send you this video that's been created by this company that will highlight the best of their offering in 1 minute, and then we can end with the red brand stuff.
Yeah.
And so our marketing is not only what the customer may see before engaging with us, it's continued and after. I think for me, marketing and sales is the exact same thing. And I know that's very controversial, but it's marketing is selling en masse. And sometimes sales is direct to the person. And yeah.
Yeah. And I love how you have that full mindset. Worry about the price later. Just experience what it is that you're going to experience. Mm-hmm. Because once they've watched all the videos from the hotels and the experiences that they're going to go out and do, by the time they get to the price, like, oh, who cares about the price? Let's just go there. Yeah. You know, you can picture it. Of course, a couple, one half of the couple probably like, oh, I don't want to spend that money, and the wife would be like, oh no, but look, we're going to do this. Let's just do it. Yeah. And the husband's like, oh yeah, sure, let's do it. Bugger the money, let's just do it. You can see that playing out.
Cameron, if you get on the emotive side of that exact same people, and then even maybe one's already sold to themselves, but for the other, let's talk that they're taking their children. Between the ages of 1 to 5, they're probably not going to have a lot of the memories of it. And between the ages of 14 to 18, it can be a bit annoying sometimes and not really travel. So you've only got 9 summer holidays with your kids. You know?
Yeah. Puts it in perspective.
And or if there's 9 opportunities to have this childhood memory with the parents. That's not much. And that's me jumping to the end again and thinking, but that's the emotive side. Yeah. And don't wait until it's over, because we do have people come in. We do have people come in and maybe they've never travelled. We have people having their first trips when they're retiring and they work their whole life. And that's when they start realising, like, what have I done? Yeah. But we also have people that say, oh, my kids are too old now. We miss that opportunity. Or I always wish I could take them to Disneyland. And that's the emotive side. That's that opportunity where don't wait until you're 70 and your knees are buggered to go to Amalfi, in the stairs. Yeah. Go now. Yeah. And I think COVID proved that to a lot of us.
Definitely a bit of a reality check to say, you only got a small time, take advantage of it. Because you don't know when a COVID lockdown's going to be around the corner again. Fingers crossed it doesn't, but there's the possibility. You never know. Yeah. So speaking of COVID, you just mentioned before that it was kind of a little bit of a blessing, pulled the rug out from underneath you to show that the floorboards were rotten within the business. So talk us through that 12, 18 months, 24-month period working on the business. You've just launched 2019. Now you've been hit with a market collapse in travel, right? There's nothing happening. So how did you use that time to replace those floorboards and build the foundations as you mentioned before?
First, I invested in a business coach. That was a bit crazy when people were, contracting their businesses, to invest in that. I thought here's an opportunity to really, not only, it wasn't an opportunity to learn. I thought, what could I be doing? And let's bring people on. Don't try to do it on your own. That was one thing that I did, which was amazing, which helped me, think differently, look for other ideas. Business coach was one. But the other thing was, here's an opportunity to grow our community and to really establish who and what Travel Project is. And that's where we set out for, again, my wife and I, to really question, why we started. And it's the family. I want them to see that you can do whatever you want. If you wanted to create a business, create a business. That's my driver. You know, I want to create something that the kids can be like, well, Dad's nuts. You know, good on him. And I think if that's one thing that they can take away from this, that's really important. But then the next thing is what that thing has been created. So we're in a journey at the moment where it's more of a purposeful driven business. We're not there yet. You know, it's something that, because I link to in the future, where they'll look back and think Dad and Mum created this. And a business that sells travel isn't enough. You know, something that actually is impactful, that helps people. That's the direction that we're heading at the moment. And so a few things in COVID that, you know, really exploring those options. It was a great opportunity. We were certified as Australia's first carbon neutral travel agency. I think, you know, if we existed or if we didn't, there's no impact on the environment. Sure. But I'm definitely well aware that there's a lot of carbon washing at the moment. It's everywhere, so people don't see it anymore. But we didn't do it to be seen everywhere. I link back to building something that it would be, hey, Mum and Dad did this. You know, link it back into there. So, yeah, it was just an opportunity to really look at the bones and the purpose of the business, about to focus on building a community, because we were new. No one knew who we were. But if we could prove that we get through COVID, we'll get through anything.
Yeah, definitely. And how does that community, how has it evolved over the years to where it is today? How tight-knit is it? Do you see a lot of repeat purchases coming through with clientele and what forth? And how does does the community interact with each other? That's the other bit. You know, it's always good to have the relationship going to your customer and back two-way, but if you can spread that to multiple people, then you've really got a strong community there.
Yeah, and the repeat referral business has and was been everything, and we only just started investing in SEO 4 months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did nothing.
Just had it there, just sitting there.
Nothing. Oh, it's embarrassing. Now I understand what it is.
Yeah.
You know, that was a little bit of, it's just, but we grew in such a strong business. There's now 17 of us. We grew and grew and grew because of the referral market. Yeah. Repeat and referral market. But we got that market first by targeting a lot of the families down this way. And that was a great little marketing concept, like how we focus on the families when we're all locked down. Yeah. And we did. And how we did that is when everybody was buying clay kits and my wife bought some crochet thing, I don't know, you know, all those things that you buy online for $20, $30 and just stockpile that in my COVID gifts. So I thought, what can Travel Project do? What's our takeaway version of a holiday? And so this was born. I didn't show this to you. This is our old branding. We did start off as Melbourne Travel Project. So this was our opportunity to get into people's houses. So get ready for a new kind of travel. This is a head spin to remember when we created this. But what I wanted to do was give people that experience of seeing something new, of trying something new. And so with this was our virtual reality travel headsets.
Oh, wow.
That you could you know, but we're selling for $36. We were selling for $36, and oh, geez, it's got an old band and everything. Pop your phone in on our website. We had 94 different experiences that we could take people from the summit of Everest. We had Disneyland. We had roller coaster. We had a Peppa Pig roller coaster. So we had for the families, but it was all 360 immersive view, so you could go swimming with whale sharks. We had the space station on there as well, and it was just, you know, I really understood that our job in travel is to do all the hard work. We can find all these unique experiences. You just sit back, and this is a way of doing what we do, but a small virtual way. And we had it all easy in one spot, so you could do that. And then, all you needed was a phone. And
is the website still up with it?
No, it's not still up, and it kind of evolved. And then now things, you know, a lot of the videos were actually hosted on YouTube. And now YouTube, you know, with them and Meta creating their own, it's just kind of evolved. But at the time, it was a way of getting in people's houses. Yeah. And they kept it there, and they kept it in the toy room, or they kept it in the shelves. And yeah, that's how we get there. That was a great little marketing thing. We used a couple of influencers we're sending out to people. It's just trying anything, and people like to see, the Today Show one morning. I had my little headset and did it on there.
That's amazing.
And so it was great branding.
How many did you sell?
How many we sell? 600.
Wow.
Yeah.
This rolls
Over
back
like
the
a
years.
year and a bit.
That's unreal. Getting deja vu looking at something like this. When I was a little kid, I had a little spy pack.
Oh, with the...
Yeah. I had the little glasses similar like this on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a great idea.
So this really worked to get in the family market. And when
Yeah.
things came back, people were like, wow, travel project. Or people were, grandparents were buying for their grandkids, parents were buying for their kids. It was just a great way of saying that, hey, travel's hard. Everyone else was pivoting in their way with their takeaway, and that was our pivot, which is good.
so
And that's
cool.
when we were Melbourne Travel Project. And we've since dropped to just be short and punchy and allow us for more reach. Yeah. National Reach as Travel Project.
There you go. That is such a good idea. Straight in the hands, you can capture it. Simple, put your phone in there, go to the sites and experience it.
Yeah.
And then, as you touched on before, you've got this idea in your head. I want to go there, I want to go there, I want to go there. COVID finishes, first number you call up, Melbourne Travel Project at the time. Let's get it organised.
Yeah. It's a good marketing idea. But again, I feel like I got a bit of PTSD, like thinking about when we were on that. But yeah.
Unreal, man. That's awesome. Thanks for bringing that along. I was wondering, I was sitting
I
there, I
know
was
you
like,
wondered what it was. when I
what
put
did
it
you
down
bring
there.
in?
A little box of chocolates or something. That was... Yeah, it's great. And the same, that's the artwork that's on our wall in our shop as well. The colour, the same,
Wow.
and we had a lot of time to give it some thought.
Yeah. That's awesome. That is so good. I would have loved to see something like that in my hand during COVID. That would have been good.
Because people didn't know who we were. We were a brand new brand. And that's where people, when they come into, the travel space, the Hollywood model is a franchise. And people can be co-branded their own with the brand, but it's a piggyback to get in. And we just kind of went straight as a brand new brand. Opened up a store on Main Street, Mornington. People thinking, who are these guys? And there was a lot of, you could tell, apprehension. 3 months was pretty good before COVID. But there was still that whole, who are you? Not really a brand. Some people pay a lot of money in travel. To just give some random shop $30,000, people had questions.
Of course, understandable.
And I think on the other side of COVID, and they saw we're still there, never been asked that question again.
Good. So you solidified yourself. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, in the community.
Yeah. So you just touched on there, you only just started doing SEO 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So how have you found social media then over the years? Has that been a big driver for you?
Yes. And one thing that we've captured a market that people in travel are finding it really hard to capture, which is the 35 to 45-year-old market. And I think that is... It started as being a sexy brand, if I'm honest.
Sure.
The visuals, the getting people to feel something. Because I was chatting with someone recently, there's a lot, you can imagine all the travel companies here in Australia that haven't really seemed to capture that. It seemed to be a lot of the online market. But it's, what are our numbers? It's 70% of who we have.
Really?
Yeah.
So why is it that they're so difficult to capture? Is it because they're in that age range where they've got kids in that 1 to 4, 1 to 5 bracket where they're not traveling that much, or?
I think so for some of the bigger brands, and even previously there used to be a lot of youth brands that don't exist anymore. STA Travel, Student Flights have gone, they've closed down.
Sure.
So there isn't any youth brands anymore. There's only just the mass market. And traditionally, and there had been a lot of quite heavy 50, 55 plus. And there always used to be that bridge between youth and then semi-retired. That people that travel just had not really captured. Right. The online companies have, the online travel agencies, like some of the big ones. They're all travel agencies, unless you're booking direct. It's a travel agency. They're just using API or people. We're using people. They use API. It's the exact same thing. but yeah, no, we've captured that market, and whether it be the families, whether it be just relatability, whether it be it's our service. We've really grown that way, but now we're really focusing on the SEO. So now we grew without that. Now it's about, okay, where to next? But touching back on socials, Instagram's definitely a lot more popular than Facebook, and I don't even have my own Instagram. Well, I'm only 40. I'm right in the middle of that, but I've always been the Facebook guy, the Meta, but everywhere. The one thing we haven't cracked yet is TikTok. I understand. I hear TikTok being just overtook Google as the number one search engine. Yeah. It blows my mind.
Crazy.
Very crazy. And I understand you got different audiences across all three, but those platforms. It's the way of, I guess, in the travel space, it's the inspiring platforms, whereas using the Google and SEO, that's when people are more buying mode. So you're the inspiring and buying, and I think just understanding how we're approaching each.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when I look at anything related to travel online, let's just focus on the travel agency side of things.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm comparing different travel agencies on Instagram, you pull up their feed, they've all got similar photos, they've all got similar videos, you've got people walking along boardwalks and blue oceans everywhere, lots of grass, bushes and trees and landscapes that you've never seen before, spectacular. Mm-hmm. They all look exactly the same. Mm. So how do you, with Travel Project, how do you differentiate yourself in a space like social media where everything is so similar? A photo's a photo, a video's a video for the most part. How do you differentiate yourself on a first look, on the cover of your your Instagram? That's your book, that's your cover. How do you differentiate yourself on that first glance?
That's very tricky. I think in Insta, a lot of the staged photos where they're getting out of the perfectly made bed, that's old. There's this new imagery that kind of relaxed luxury that's high, like perfectly like a great quality. It's not on a phone, like great quality image, but not staged. I think that's where people are starting to look twice. Right. If that makes sense. Yeah, so if the bed's not made, if there's a little bit of mess, but it's lived and it's real. Yeah. And then when it's real, you can associate it because nobody has the bedroom looking like this.
No. There's always wrinkles.
Or the body like that. A little bit real. But no, we definitely get the most engagement when we're on there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. When we're there, when because it is such a I don't know, content heavy industry, travel, wow, you can get some amazing pictures. If you're selling travel, it just makes sense. But it's so overdone that people want to hear from people. And that's why I think TikTok's taking off. Because you cut through the noise. Yeah. I think there's starting to be a lot of distrust in what bots and AI can create, from reviews to just Googling a luxury hotel in Fiji. It's whoever paid the most for SEO now. So people are going to start seeking out people to cut through the tech noise.
Yeah. That's why, it makes perfect sense. And that's probably why we're seeing so many travel influencers these days. You're going straight to the source. You're going to the person who's actually experienced it, they've lived it, and you can say, okay, what did you think? I liked it for this reason. I didn't like it for this reason. Okay, perfect. That's your review straight away. Mm-hmm. And you're not seeing, as you said, this polished product, the perfectly laid bed, the gym body of a super lean, muscular figure. Yep. It's just, this is me. I was out in Fiji today. Look at this. This is pretty cool. Didn't like that little restaurant down this corner here because there was this issue. But I love this one over here. Okay, perfect. That ticks off all the boxes for me. I know where I should go. I know where I shouldn't go. Mm-hmm. That's it. Authentic, genuine, straight to the point. Real. Yeah.
Yeah, so real as much as we can. But then it's hard to not dip into the amazing pictures and having that balance, you know, because then sometimes real is too real. And so that's what we're evolving, and that's what we're trying and seeing what works. And, you know, we definitely have some of those amazing imagery, but the more that we can put up of our own content, the better. But I really think not as staged, not as perfect. I'm sure many people have been in the same situation as me. If I'm looking at buying something or comparing a few different items of the same thing, what's the better brand? What should I get? What's better for my family? I find myself looking in Facebook communities, then Googling and trying to find a comparison website, because I think they're just whoever paid the most. They've all got affiliated links throughout them. And so I don't trust that. I trust real people. Yeah. And so as much as we can be real and show that we're real people and we're relatable. You know, I've got 4 kids. I get it. I get family travel. and you know, we're really real. We were very fortunate. We took them to Disneyland last year. And when you take your kids to Disneyland, you still take all their issues.
Yes, they don't go away.
Still take the anxiety and the tantrums and the things, and, you know, be real about it. Be real about there's Disneyland, someone having a tantrum. And I don't like the way the chips taste. You know, that still happens. Yeah. But let's be real. And I think that's what works.
So do you think there's going to be a bit of a rise of, for want of a better phrase, reality TV content, in terms of you'll just have people going along capturing everything that's happening, the experience, and it's like a mini documentary, if you like, of the experience that's happening, that's unfolding?
100%. You see a lot of these. I see a lot of these trends: Instagram versus reality. You know, and so people are starting to see, well, no, this is reality, and people don't want reality. And reality is looking like mass over tourism and crowds. And you see all those, you know, when every July when everyone's in Greece, that they saw a picture on Instagram of a beautiful sunset of somebody sitting in the best view, nobody around. And you think that's where I want to go. You go there, you have this experience, then you hate it. Yeah. So we've got to really search out those real experiences that will match what's been put out there. And they exist, but just come speak to us to find out where.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, I can definitely see a lot more of that reality coming through in what I see online. Not just travel related, but across the board. There is a lot more. People just crave it. Mm-hmm. And I think as good as AI is, and as much of an asset as it is, people are getting to the point where you can't tell the difference between an AI photo or video and a realistic photo and video. Mm-hmm. So I think there's probably a point not too far off the horizon whereby people are going to be just craving, they want real again. Mm-hmm. And if we can bring that real back into things, travel especially, you're going to have that beautiful sunset once every 105 days. Yeah. But on the 106th day that you're actually there, it might be shit. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. So if we can just show that, this is what you could have, but this is more realistic what you're going to get, but you can still sell the experience of what they're actually going to be getting, that's probably that sweet spot where everyone wins. You win, they win, everyone in between wins. And
exactly, you said it. So remember, what is most important, it's not the photo, it's the experience you had. Yeah. So put your phone down. Yeah. Put your phone down. You see concerts. I saw a clip of Coldplay the other day just saying, for this one song, let's put phones down for people to have an experience. Yeah. You know? And that's what music concerts are. No one's going to watch a silly, shaky video. You know? No. But it's filmed song after song. But that's just an example, and same with travel, you know? And there's like lines to get a photo in front of a site. And it's like, what are we really here for? You know? And just bring it back to the experiential side. And don't get caught up on getting that photo, because your memories will be in the line for the photo, and that's not the photo's not the memory. Has anyone ever looked back on their phone of a video of a concert? Yeah, no, probably not. No one has done that. No, just you take it in the moment. Oh, this is cool, and then literally the next day you don't even care anymore. Yeah. Same with travel. You go somewhere, you take a photo. Oh, that was a nice place, but you don't remember it. The image in your head of the experience you remember is what you actually experienced. The smells and the
the sounds around you is what you can remember in your head. A photo doesn't capture that. A video doesn't capture that. Doesn't matter what medium. Why? I love taking the photos as well. Don't get me wrong. I love taking the videos, but when I think back of all the places that I've been to that I experienced the most and the ones I loved the most, I don't think of what I saw between my eyes and my photo and the lens of the camera. I don't see that.
Yeah.
I see what I saw with my own eyes, the peripheral of everything, mountain over there, waterfall over there, or whatever it is.
The smells, heat or the cold.
That's it.
And then, what you may have done that night or that before and the memories. And that's what travel is, I think. And we forget. But I do as well. And, you just got to, be a little bit more meaningful in how we live our life. Someone, just asked me the question recently. His name is Mello. He's an amazing mindfulness business coach. And the question was, when did you last actually smell, the shampoo in the shower? Like, realizing what you're doing, because we're constantly in the future and the past in our minds. I am, and I think many people are. And just to try to bring it back to the moment. And I think that's very important in travel as well, because sometimes we're trying to get the video, we're not in the moment, and think, I can send it to this person and get the photo. I'd love to see this, and just try to be in the moment. Try to smell the shampoo. Do it next time in the shower. You realise you don't. You never do.
Never do.
I've been trying to. Because I think about the day, what I need to do, or if it's the end of the day, you're kind of winding down. What happened? And so, yeah.
So we're just speaking about this idea of put the phone away, live in the moment, and that's it. We also spoke about bringing reality into frame and thinking that you can have this polished product, photo, video, whatever it is, but in reality, what you're going to experience is probably a tenth of what you're seeing in that image. Mm-hmm. When we spoke a few weeks ago, you mentioned to me that you have this idea for when you go out with your customers, they go on an experience with travel project. They put their phone away, they live in the moment, and then you have someone that's sitting at the back, photographer, videographer, whatever it is, just capture it and then provide that with them later on for them to relive the experience again.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that and where you see that playing out in the next little while.
Yeah. So this is 90% of our business is privately tailor-made, something separate. But this is something where I know I can create itineraries that will be out of this world, and I really start thinking about, the wedding industry. When did you last see the bride having to take the photos? They don't, because they live in the moment and they get somebody else to take the photos. So why can't we bring that concept into travel? That's where we don't need to wait in line and pass to my phone or send me that picture and do all this. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Know that it'll be captured for you, because that's the purpose. Always remember the purpose of why you're taking the photo. It's because people don't want to forget. And they want to hold on to those memories. So let's focus on making those memories even better and bringing the elements so you don't forget. So when you get home, a perfectly edited video, just like what you'll get for a wedding, for the trip that you took, but also an amazing little coffee table book, because old photos are still the best. I was playing records last night. I still have got a record player, and even though I can listen to it on Spotify, it's just nice because I focus on one album at a time rather than clicking. And same with photos and memories, and it's great just to have something there. So again, many of our customers say, I still have to do that. I wish I did that. I need to make my book. I need to print them off. I'll print them off one day. We do it with our kids' baby photos. We'll print them off. They're all on the phone. And life gets in the way. So, that's how I see travel with travel projects as a great little standout to enjoy the moment and we'll capture it.
That's such a good question to pose yourself. Why do they do it in the wedding industry? They sit back and enjoy the moment, but not in travel. Yeah. Two big experiences in your life, getting married and going on these amazing trips, but you don't live in the moment in a trip. You try and get to all these different places and you try and take the photos of it. Mm-hmm. Just having someone sit back and say, no, you do what you want to do, we'll capture it for you. And I love that idea there. having a little coffee table book with all the photos in there. You think about a wedding and what a couple will get with their wedding photos. They'll get the photos of themselves, they'll get the photos with their family, but then they also get the photos of them with their guests. And I'm sure if they look back in the years to come, they'll think about, oh, I remember when Jane was at our wedding and she did this stupid thing, or Paul, or whatever, right? You think about experiences of travel. You're not always thinking about what you experienced. You think about what other people around you were experiencing as well. And that can be captured in a photo and you put it in the book.
Yes.
That's another big one.
And if you look at the wedding book, that's always starts with the posed ones. No one really cares in like 20 years. It's going to be like the dance floor. And look at such and such had a beard, or remember they had long hair. And it's going to be the life, the living photos that they'll remember even more than the stage ones. Stage ones are nice and you need to have them, but guarantee that so many brides and grooms, if they're showing or going through, they'll go to the party, the fun, the memories. Or the hazy memories, and the dance floor and that, and I think that's what you have in travel as well. And you don't have the travel where you posed in front of the Eiffel Tower. You've got maybe the late night at a random French bar where you had this musician just jamming in the corner. They're the photos I think to bring a life and to remember, not the posed ones.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
And where do you see travel product needing to adapt to enable this all to occur? Do you think you need to see specialised staff come in and say, we're focusing just on this? Or is it more of a thing from a overarching experience perspective, just shifting your view and your mindset on things a little bit?
It's distribution into communities. That's a big one. And in the travel industry, people buy from people. And so the more people, I can guarantee you there'll be someone in northern beaches of Sydney that would love this concept. But it's a little bit harder right now to get to them unless I had someone in Sydney on the northern beaches that's there at the school drop-offs, or maybe the local golf course. So I think for us to get out, it's a people-to-people community thing, but getting into communities, that's really, really important. Now, from a marketing perspective, I think there's two ways of getting to the communities. One, having someone in the community, right? But also expensive. But collaborating with communities, I think, is how I see our distribution as well. Rather than we've got a community, you've got a community. What can we do? There's ways that I think we could link communities really well, and to give you an example, there's one company that's offering unique access for it's in the healthcare industry, and they've got a community of 70,000 people. And again, we've got a community with a product. We're chatting with the head of that community to get into that community and to find a way. And so I think connecting, whether it be with physical communities, online communities, and that's a way to sell to one, sell to many. And I think that's how we grow, because the more people that can understand what we're creating, the better. Because I it could be a little bit naive here, but it's pretty amazing to travel the world, do it well, do it unique, and have it captured.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely it is.
But like what you said, in the noise of travel images, got to cut through. And I think, like anyone in marketing, and things always evolve as well, I don't have the golden bullet, the silver bullet. I don't have the silver, that's the one. I don't have the silver bullet, but it's attempt. It's communities, it's building our communities, it's chatting to other communities, it's getting out to more people.
Do you see AI being a positive in any of all this? We spoke about it a little bit before. Do you see that helping out with that cut through at all?
Yeah, AI is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I think it's not scared of it, because I'm confident in our product.
Sure.
And you need to question why we still have campfires when we have heating. Why do we have an open fireplace when we can press button fireplace? It's because it's nostalgic, and it's just people want to be raw and connect with people. So I'm not scared that it will take away the connection that people have with people at all. It'll probably make it stronger because there's more distrust on that and fear and make some good movies and stuff. Right, but yeah, good question. Why we still have campfires? And that's my, that's how I work with AI. And if I'm not using it, then my competitors will. So yeah, I use it and I teach it. It's like a little pet. Each chat, if you do it well, understand that it's kind of like a brand new little AI pet and it's got all of the information in the world. But it doesn't know who Travel Project is. It doesn't know how customers are. It doesn't know who we're targeting. It doesn't know our brand voice. It doesn't know what we're doing. So if I'm wanting to create something or key AdWords or to find out where these communities will be, these people where they'll be and what their likes are outside of travel, I first need to train the bot to explain who we are. Once I train the bot, each little chat, I've got my template and train, and I ask it to store this information, and it does. I make sure to thank it all the time.
Good.
Because
it's doing a good job for you.
Well, 20 years' time, it may come back to get me when the robots take over. It's going to remember that I was polite at the beginning, right? So always be polite to AI. That's one thing yeah. So no, if I'm polite and if I train AI, it can work really well. I think the mass market travel industry that I came from is going to be hit. That's where I don't feel the people-to-people relationship was valued as much. Yes, there's definitely green shoots, but on a mass, on these online travel agency platforms, they're going to be hit because people on there just bots and make it simple. Yeah. But remember the campfire? Remember why they're still fruit shops? Remember why people still use interior designers when you could Google, make my house look nice?
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good point. Yeah. Key lesson there, treat AI like the magpies.
Yeah, they'll get you soon.
If you piss one off at the start, they hit you for the rest of their life.
They're always listening. See, there's microphones everywhere.
No, it's a good point though. And AI, if you use it correctly, it is so powerful. And the more information you can give it, the more detailed and thorough you can be in your approach to it, it then works in your favour. But it takes time, as you mentioned. Yeah. You can't just expect the first search that you do on a ChatGPT to give you everything, because you have to give it all the information that it needs. The best prompts aren't the ones that are little 2-sentence ones like this. It's the big paragraphs that say, this is exactly what we want and this is what you need to do. And then you get the answers that you want. Yeah. And you do that over and over again, and it's pretty much like it's you. And I think that's probably why it was created in the first place, is that so it can think like you without having the stress of daily life inhibiting your decision making. It's just to clear of that. And if you can do that and you can do it well, then it's going to work for you.
Yep. Just remember to move the Z in organise and specialise, because that's a dead giveaway. Someone uses ChatGPT, right?
My favourite one is, in today's digital and fast-paced world.
Yeah.
See that everywhere.
Just delete the first line that they write. Like it's setting up, trying to create a hook. Yeah. We don't need the hook. Delete the first line, change the Z.
Happy days.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, Matt, as we finish up this afternoon, I've got 2 questions for you. Mm-hmm. The first is, what is the biggest lesson that you've learnt over your career as a marketer? And we'll slash that with a business owner as well. And then also, what one tip would you give someone to improve by 1% today if they were completely fresh to marketing?
Okay. What I've learnt was to always surround myself with people that are smarter than me. Don't be the hero. I'm creating a business that can operate without me, and that means we're all collectively one. People working together in synergy are unstoppable. So don't be, work with people, ask questions, be on the same level. There are a lot of smart people out there. And you, no doubt, everybody, you've got amazing things to bring to the table. And so collaborate and ask questions and learn. And don't be the smartest person in the room. Yeah. If you are, change the room.
Definitely.
Yeah, move rooms. Yeah, that's definitely one. And sorry,
The second question, what tip would you give someone who's completely fresh to marketing for them to improve by 1% today?
improve by 1%. A little tip. Oh, Garrett, this is so good. But it's a little shortcut. Over my career, so many times people said, you have to read this book. You have to read that book. And I think that's amazing. And I write it down. I write all these books down. And people have read and they've learned, that's how you get information, right? But I don't have time. And that's why this whole 1%, you don't need time. And my little hack is I use the app Blinkist. Blinkist summarizes books in 7 to 19 minutes. And I could wake up in the morning when my brain is fresh, take the dog for a walk, and I learn a book. Right. That's where I learn things. And that's my little hack because I don't have time. And I guarantee you that the majority of authors out there, they've got 3, 4, 5 messages, key messages in a book, right? And they've got to fill the pages to sell the book. So there's a bit of fluff. Yeah. Cuts out. That's so good. If there are books that you've read, listen to it on Blinkist, and you'll probably remember more. You'll be like, wow, okay, I missed that point. Yeah. And there's so much that not only in the marketing space, but as a personal space. Because if you're wanting to exceed in marketing or in any industry, you've got to start with yourself. And you could be learning things that can help you achieve in any industry that's focused on something else, whether it be wellness, whether it be your children, whether it be fitness, whether it be money, whether it be marketing. There is a lot. So, yeah, learn. But again, my one tip, sign up to Blinkist. And instead of learning from me, learn from some amazing authors out there. But I wish I'd say I was a reader, but I just, life's busy. And my list of books got too big. So, yeah, one tip.
Blinkist.
Yeah.
There we go. Awesome, Matt. Look, thank you for your time. It's been phenomenal to chat. And I hope you've enjoyed going down memory lane a little bit. And
yeah, it's good. Yeah. Thank you. I enjoyed that. That was really,
pleasure. And I'm looking forward to getting this out there more to people because travel is an industry that is moving so rapidly. Always has been, always will be. Yeah. And there's some exciting things coming up for you in the future. And looking forward to hearing all about it.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
That was good.